All right, we're back. And before we do these intros to explain or elaborate what you're going to discuss there, Porphyry Dragon tried his darndest. I have nothing to say good or bad about his lobby making skills, but he made one mistake where he hosted something in the wrong server, and it's a regame. It was almost no issue whatsoever. It just wasted a little bit of time. He felt so bad about it. And I'm just like, dude, you just need to, Taylor Swift, shake it off type thing. Like it's not a big deal, but he got hung up on it, and I felt bad for him. But anyways, you guys are watching the Corsair Cup. People asking, who's nice username and why are we raising money for him? He is the guy who currently manages our YouTube channel. He also does a lot of the video work you've seen. If you've ever seen any of the How It Looks versus How It Feels series, which are hilarious, by the way, if you've seen the GIFs that promote what's coming up in the upcoming patches, he does a lot of this sort of stuff that's not really, it's well known, but he's not well known is the thing. And we certainly appreciate him here on the channel a lot. So that's why we're trying to raise a couple of bucks to get him to DreamHack Austin with us, guys. But that being said, you're watching the Corsair Cup. Spawning here in the bottom left side of Arena, we've got the Blue Zerg. Team Liquid's TLO.
In the top left, as the Red Protoss, it's Team Liquid's MaNa.
Oh, is this trying to make drama out of nothing? MaNa has no clan tag. TLO does. MaNa has no Team Liquid. What's the American word? Decal, excuse me, on his thing.
Like
MaNa doesn't. Is this impending news of MaNa leaving Team Liquid? He made a post recently that was long-winded, talked about his performance. Maybe it's retirement.
You're gonna be so sad if it's actually true.
I would. Oh my god, it would break my friggin' heart because I love MaNa. He especially lately, him and Neeb have really, like, MaNa for Europe, Neeb for North America have been some of my favorite Protoss players. Not some, my favorite Protoss players, period. Holy schmoly, those Europe.
What?
First off,
yeah.
You know what, who is this guy? I've never heard of him before in my life. Panic Switch? It's probably some fake.
Who?
Panic
Switch? I actually have a story about him.
Panic Switched. He just donated $100. I'll get to the donation here in a moment, but I was gonna say the pylon block for MaNa was pretty cool. I was actually a little bit worried that pylon would go down before anything would come out to save with this, and if that was the case, TLO would be getting a lot more damage done with Lings than anticipated. But Panic Switched donates $100. So, round of applause, everybody. Give us some Tasia claps in chat if you haven't. And he says, the pact has been sealed. Nice username, will understand. Also, why is Rifkin a vamp? God damn it! You had to ruin a perfectly good moment with a very generous donation.
So, the story isn't about him, I guess, but it is like, deal with his photography. So, Panic Switch, if you all don't know, besides being a common Twitch lurker, is also a photographer, and he takes pictures at esports events.
Yo, if you saw most of the stuff from Hell It's About Time, that was him.
Exactly. So, my grandmother has, like, this, like, slideshow picture frame, so she doesn't have, like, a billion picture frames around her. And my parents, designated me with a task of finding pictures of myself. And, of course, I don't take pictures of myself, so there weren't any on my phone. Yeah, well, I didn't want to take a selfie, so I just went to, I downloaded, the Hell It's About Time stuff. So there is a picture in my grandma's room of you doing that, like, your pointer thing, and then my Skype profile picture.
Where you look like just an absolute bag? Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
The thing is, like, I'm so, like, far off to the left in this picture frame, because, its dimensions were weird, and you're like, right in the middle. She's gonna be like, who the hell is this guy?
Is that your boyfriend? No,
the one
Grandma.
Is right next to you.
I've told you about Steve a million times. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, right. Alright, so we have something a little interesting. So we saw last game a Stargate opener and double Robo pretty quickly, but this game, MaNa is going to be going for double Stargates and even upgrading the double Stargate as well.
Yeah, actually, I'm really... I'll talk about that in a second. I love that TLO did this sort of attempted wall off here on his own side of this. That's kind of cool. Keeps the depths out. But I guess if there's one thing that has proven to be strong against Zerg in any instance, it's usually going to be that sort of Golden Armada that constantly gets referred to. Now, I'm imagining this is probably Mass Phoenix to begin with, because you just need something. You gotta be able to lift units up, you gotta be able to fight any mutas that may be in play. You can't just go straight to Tempest like you could versus Terran. But that could still be MaNa's end goal with the upgrades coming in after all. I'm actually really curious to see how he pulls this off, because Arena is a map that, for both players, I guess, has had a faux rush distance with kind of wall-offs. But we have seen this map go to 5 bases. We have seen this map go to 6 bases. It's entirely possible MaNa actually gets to play this way.
Yeah, they're still pretty rare to see 5 base games, but certainly 3 and 4. Now, what's interesting is that TLO does not scout the amount of Stargates, I believe. So his Overlord tried to get in there. It saw, okay, that's really funny. It saw one of the already built Stargates, the one that is building, but not the third one, which was the second one that was already finished building. So the Overlord it died a little too quickly. So double Stargate's not that surprising
3 are.
for a Zerg to see. But yeah, 3 would have been, but he doesn't confirm unless he could actually tell him that Phoenix were already out.
Alright, well I want to get some donation stuff cut up because I missed Idle-Ons. That's my bad. He subbed to the channel brand new to get Riamar to donate $5 more to this, but also donates $5 himself and says make it 10. And then SharkDog58 just donated $13.67 and said, "Let's get Mr. Username out there." You want him for that blood? You want him for that blood supply, eh? Ace Vampire.
Oh.
So the Phoenix quickly dispatched like any remnants of anti-air. TLO's Overlord's gonna go down. He's actually gonna get supply blocked off this.
TLO's not really looking so okay.
No, I mean, first off, I think Phoenix in general will catch you off guard if you don't scout. Sure, whatever. A couple Phoenix here and there. I don't think he's expecting this many, though. This is the thing about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, he thought he'd have time to put down those spores. He thought he'd have time to make queens. But this isn't 2 Phoenix at a time. It's 3, and he's already up to 12. And he's following up with a double robo.
Yeah. I thought he was going to go into that mass armada. It made sense with the mass amount of air you have in between your bases and how short of a distance it is. But going for the robo, now going for the Overlord as well. TLO's Baneling choice is very interesting. I guess he expected maybe Phoenix Charge Lot or Phoenix Adept. Very powerful combo attack, but it really was just the Phoenix. So the Banelings feel a little bit... oh, no, wait, there they are.
Okay, so it's funny because I guess in the 3 days you've been gone, it's like the meta shifted for Zerg, all because of Dark, and we've seen nothing but Banelings lately out of Zerg versus Protoss all weekend. And one of the really big things about this that's kind of cool to see is it works really well versus the Adepts. It works really well versus Charge Lots. If you're expecting, I mean, even if it wasn't the Stargate, maybe these were precautionary Stargates, and TLO was expecting MaNa to play standard with Immortals and Charge Lots, then those Banelings are a great choice. But in this instance, he's just kind of, I feel like, making lemons or lemonade out of the lemons he has, because you're going Hydra Ling. How can you possibly step that up when you can't afford to go for anything else? You make Banelings.
I mean, Adept Phoenix combo attack is... okay, he's gonna tap out. There's
no recovery. Insane. Before we go, hang on. How many Overlords died that game? 17. Ouch.
Yeah. And it's something that, even before this weekend, I don't know about Dark, but was actually a really good answer versus Adepts or versus Charge Lot to break through the barrier initially to get to the Immortals barrier, I guess.
Yeah.
But, well, I mean, it was... you don't expect 3 Stargates,
The biggest thing about Banelings, I mean, and they even work to an extent against Stalkers. We see them work against Roaches. It doesn't. They hit things and they do splash damage, and that's what matters most. And I think it took a little bit, but everyone's finally clicked into realizing nobody's making sentries anymore, and that really makes Banelings more viable in every way. Because the only reason Banelings were ever considered not good was because of force fields, and that was it. But we're already up to $244. We're not even an hour into the broadcast, and we're at the halfway goal. So nice username. If you're watching, or if you're watching the VOD when you cut this up later, you should be very happy, sir. We're already halfway there. Now, of course, it is loser's pick here in the Corsair Cup, for those who don't know. So we're going to be hopping into game number 2, taking place on Ruins of Endion. Excuse me, Ruins of Endion.
Yes. Nope. TLO's choice. And they're all in.
Well, I mean, MaNa was last game.
Was he all in? Or he had a third
I kind of feel like even if you have 3 bases, you're going 3 Starport Phoenix. If you, for whatever reason, lose those Phoenix, you're dead. You're not going to have an army to fall back on. Anyways, Ruins of Endion. We'll see you guys in just a moment. Alright, folks, we're getting into game number 2 in this best of 3. Spawning here on the bottom left side of the map. He's down 1 point already. It's going to be Team Liquid's TLO.
In the bottom right, as the red Protoss, it's Liquid MaNa.
Now, in fairness, Orena's a bit of a funky map for a lot of different reasons. You get worried about a lot of different things. Yeah, this is really interesting to me, actually. MaNa... playing all the stops? No. Okay, I thought he was going to take that extra base early on. My comment on this was going to be, though, TLO He's a very smart player, and he likes doing funky things himself. But if you get caught off guard by 12 Phoenix when you're expecting 4, there's really not a lot you can do about that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's worth noting, that first attack, the Spore Crawler wasn't even halfway done. It wasn't even barely started.
Yeah. Losing all of the Overlords was a significant amount of money. I mean, that's 600, like 100 each, 600 minerals just right off the bat. But it also, which is the case, I don't think that TLO had the greatest start anyway. You know, he was trying to do like an attack, he's ran on the rocks, and the Phoenix came and they swooped up and killed everything, so there was no pressure on MaNa's side of the map, which, you know, you can get away with the Zerg, okay, but it's usually the ideal way, you know, kill them before they get to Mass Phoenix in this case, but, you know, Mass Immortal or what have you, otherwise. And it just never happened. So TLO, I think that was I don't know, let's call it like a warm-up game. Hopefully he is. It did not look so hot. It certainly wasn't TLO's favorite game in the world. And this should be different. After all, it's his map choice. So we should be feeling a lot more comfortable on this map. We've seen quite a few Zerg go for early pools, and I wondered if that was going to be his intention. But we've also seen Protosses get really good at defending against it. Like really smart SimCity, like we see here from MaNa. Still using, even though he knows it's not an early pool.
I mean, I'm still not a fan of people who build anything outside of their mineral line versus Zerg. Even if you're playing TLO and you know he's never going to like early pull you, I still think that risk is too big of one to take. But regardless, that is a nice wall. He's pretty set up, and that Nexus will finish up shortly. We got a really big donation and a nice donation coming in both simultaneously. The first one comes from the donation bot. Is he back?
Donation bot?
I hope you have a good time in your hacked dream, Mr. Username. Was it a dream, Papa Rifkin? Was it all a dream? Yes. And none of this is real, and also the Matrix. Then $50 comes in from Arrogance GG, who, by the way, we had the pleasure of meeting. I think it was in Toronto, if I'm not mistaken. Says, have fun at DreamHack Austin. Wish I could go. And thanks, nice username, for everything you've done for StarCraft 2. Hashtag vampires in Texas. Now, I have only one small beef with that donation, and it's the vampire multiple. Because first off, vampires aren't real and I'm not one. But secondly, are you just assuming that I'm going to turn everybody into one once we get to Texas? Like, what's up with this? And what's up with that? TLO was only going down here to knock down the rocks, but gets surprised to see MaNa setting up a proxy down here. Now, MaNa can still cancel this, but he's going to commit. He's going to throw down another pylon.
Yeah.
He'll probably put down another pylon. There we go. And the Mothership Core should be able to protect if she really wants to lock this down. But, oh, I just realized, did he skip the Mothership Core for this? He did.
Okay, so the Stalker's going to come over here, though, and speed is not on the way. So the Stalker would technically be able to take out all the Lings, given enough time and control. But it looks like he's not going to send the Stalker over. I think he really is anticipating, like, Lings of speed coming out soon.
I mean, this gateway, by the way, for everyone who doesn't know, he just needs it to live to give the pylons faster warp-ins. Now we're going to see one get canceled. Oh, actually, both the Adepts get out of there. All three of them actually spawn.
Yeah, that was nice. But what's not nice is that it not only reveals a proxy, it reveals the intent, you know, like he is going to attack me. Whereas if this was never scouted, MaNa, who had to wait, is still waiting, by the way, for Resident Enclaves, would have had like 3 warp-ins from 4 gateways each time. Like, he would have a bunch of Adepts waiting, and TLO would have no idea. Now, you know, TLO has been preparing.
Let's look at this next point, too, where MaNa has got these rocks knocked down on him. He actually is committed. Everything here is going to stay and either kill or die because they don't have a way out. There is no escape. Yeah, this was certainly not what he wanted, and this is kind of like the reverse, I guess, of what happened last game. TLO's getting a nice start here. Now, TLO, in defending against this, had to cut drones, obviously, so they're, you know, right now it's not so bad, but, you know, an attack like this doesn't work, and you aren't exactly pleased with it. He's not taking on these initial rounds of roaches too poorly. I don't think TLO is expecting the powerhouse of the resonating glaives to be finished already. We also got a $5 donation coming in from Lib75. Says, just forgot. Nice username. Go to Austin. Rifkin, get rid of the quote mustache unquote.
Oh.
I am I've seen people call it a porn stash already, and I just couldn't help but think of the guy from Orange is the New Black. Ugh.
Yeah. Okay, so does kind of a fake shade, but speed was, I think, was really going to help actually getting on top of those Adepts, but he still actually needs more units in general.
Yo, this is so cool. TLO with a burrow hype. It sounds silly, but it's keeping a lot of these units alive. The Queen would have died. That Roach back there would have died. Of course, he's going to like try to burrow that one. We can see the animation go through. It just didn't quite go in time. If drones get caught in the mineral line, they can't outrun Adepts, but they can burrow and hide from them.
This is still It's more damage, even if it's indirect, than I anticipated from being scouted so early. And
Yeah.
MaNa's made the best out of a pretty bad scenario. He's trying to macro out of it. He went for double Stargates again.
I mean, looking at the resources lost, it was a little bit worse for MaNa, but that defense out of TLO was so solid. No one expects Burrow. No one expects the Spine Crawler. I mean, you talked about him cutting drones, and that hurts. Like, again, indirect damage is always damage still nonetheless, but this was actually, in my opinion, a way better defense from TLO than I expected, even with the damage he did take. Now, back at home, double Stargates got slapped down. He's going to those upgrades once again. On top of buying all this time, I guess, through the Adepts running around, the scary thing is, though, he did bait out a lot of roaches. TLO's making more roaches. And MaNa, if he doesn't make a Void Ray or two, he won't actually have a way to defend against this. God damn it. For real?
So, yeah, we got a new sub. Hype. $5 more. The thing on Rifkin's face. Rude. Thanks for subbing, I guess? Question mark? So, what I was also going to talk about is that, yeah, so TLO, he still defended against it. Even though it did more damage than I thought it still was not a great attack. Like, it was found out and it was defended against. Not so good when you commit so much to it. So MaNa is in the gutter right now when it comes to supply, as well as he should be.
His limitation here also goes, it only extends to how much energy these Phoenix have.
Yeah.
He's picked up quite a few roaches and killed them for free, quote unquote, but I mean, that's about to end right here. The Sentry's going to go down to these links, maybe? No, okay, so a Force Field or two could help a bit, buy some time, but that Void Ray really needs to get out. I mean, the Oracle's going to help a little bit. I think he was thinking the Oracle for the links and the Void Ray for the roaches, but he just needed 2 Void Rays straight up.
Plus, the Mothership Core was made so late. Oh, Probes, why are you doing that?
Oh, she doesn't have juice to do more overcharges.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
She doesn't have any energy. So the Void Ray pops out, and it's going to help a little bit, but now these, they're going to just spread and get everywhere.
Well, this is so sick, actually. He pops Revelation on the roaches so they can't burrow anymore. That was kind of a cool move. The Oracle may have been better off you doing damage, but this guarantees kills, which is kind of a difference. Zealots get warped in. Probes are trying to surround. They can barely outdamage the healing capabilities of the roach.
So much for that, I guess that would have been the 3rd Void Ray. But there's just more roaches. I mean, he broke down those rocks, so he's going with the little smiley face. Looks like a derpy face right now. And it's actually a surprisingly quick reinforcement line. It's not really supposed to happen on Ruins, but this is definitely game. MaNa, I don't think he could have had a better defense after such an attack failed.
I mean, MaNa's lost 32 probes. That count hasn't gone down. He does have 3 bases, so he's still mining while this goes on, but it just feels like the cleanup efforts, they're not going fast enough, I guess we'll say.
No, they aren't. Yeah, and the burrow really is a problem as well. He got that one Oracle because he remembered that one Oracle can only cover so much.
I just want to point out, what really killed MaNa at the end there was the roaches constantly killing those pylons. If he had 3 Void Rays, this may have actually gotten cleaned up. I say with a question mark. I don't know if the damage was recoverable, but he would have at least killed the roaches. But that constant, he put down 4 pylons, and TLO just target fired each and every one of them before they could finish. That was fantastic. But we're up to $304 already for Nice Username Names Fun, guys. So I mean, I know he's gonna have a smile on his face. I got a smile on my face. It's nice to see us able to help somebody so deserving. There's not a lot of times in esports where you get to do this, where you get to help somebody who really deserves it. But this feels great, and I want to thank you guys for helping us do this. Now, game number 3 will be MaNa's choice. It has tied up now 1-1. That's great to see. We're going to pop off to a small 2-minute break, though, while we get the lobby set up, and we'll see you guys soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Game number 3. Spotting in the bottom right side of the map, we've got Team Liquid's MaNa.
Receiving incoming transmission.
In the top left, as the red Zerg, it is Liquid TLO.
And a common question today is, what the hell's that thing on Rifkin's face? My glasses? What are you guys talking about? I need these to see.
His
that
nose?
should be obvious. My nose? My nose? Ronin of Dreams, by the way, just hits us up with a $20 donation. Quick note to TLO's pool timing, but helping make some dreams come true for DreamHack. Yeah, I'll do that. It's like part of my name or something. Ronin of Dreams, Ace Kate. So thank you for helping to contribute. Again, I'm blown away by this because this is something I guess I don't really expect. It's nice to be able to say, look, we got a concrete goal. Let's see if we can help this guy out. And boom. It's already almost met. That's insane.
Yeah. I mean, that's... It's always going to be so cool, but I guess people just love fill in the donation bar.
Okay,
You know?
I got a request for any donations coming. We got another one to shout in a second. This is great. This is great suggestion out of chat, actually. From now on, when you donate, hashtag a save it or hashtag a shave it. And we'll see what we do with the
Jesus.
mustache. I was planning to just shave it off after the stream. Well, I imagine everyone's going to be in the favor of shaving it as well. I'm curious if there would be anyone out there that would want to save it. If not for any other reason, just to piss me off. But $5 more coming from from Cable Leg. It says, keep the pedo stash riff. There you
From
go.
Potato.
So there's our first hashtag save it. Now, this is a mighty fine wall if MaNa has at the front, but the mothership core is a bit late, and that cyber core is probably going to go down. Oh, no.
Well, that's a problem.
Well, that's going to be close, because the mothership core, she's still got to fly over, she's got overcharge. I think it's going to go down. I think MaNa's anticipating this going down. He's getting ready to build behind this and layer in his wall, but, oh, Zombie, this is not something you can afford to lose.
It's not ideal, no. And definitely sacrificing the links to get that would have been worth it. So, I mean, he plants it back in position, but it is a long time not to start Warp Gate.
Not
that's the
just
biggest
that,
problem.
but I mean, I feel like that could have been so... like, he goes for the wall out here, which isn't a bad choice because he wants to get the expansion. But again, if that's in the main, that's nestled safe in the minerals, you don't have this problem. But this, by the way, is one of the changes they're looking to make on Frozen Temple, where they think the natural entrance is too wide or something like that. So, in the future, we may never have to see Protoss suffer what MaNa's had to go through.
Oh, dear. Yeah, I don't. That doesn't happen too often, but TLO finding an opportunity here. I mean, to even dedicate, quote unquote, to dedicate to 6 lings instead of just 2, or sometimes even 0. If you're being really greedy, is is something that Zergs they want something from. But I think usually that's like a pylon or maybe like an adept that's mismicroed, not an anti-cybernetics core. So pretty nice for TLO. Now he's got to defend against this, which so far he's not having a problem with.
I mean, MaNa, just want to note that spike in income is TLO had to pull drones to deal with this because he had no links, just queens to try and chip away at these. I don't know that that's going to make up for having lost the cyber core and it being delayed like that, but I tell you, it makes him feel better. That's for certain.
Well, the cybernetics core going down only is it's like in 4 minutes, it doesn't even matter. It's history by then, right? So it's just really up to what MaNa wanted to do with it, or how TLO wanted to follow up with it too. Because if you were going for like a Roach Baneling bust after you killed their Warp Gate, then it's going to continue being delayed. It's never going to get finished. But if you're just going to macro, and he's going to macro, then not much to be said there. But MaNa did want to go for Resonating Glaives, so keep in mind that Twilight Council was also delayed a little bit because the Mix War had to actually finish. Not by too much, but a little bit. And it is scouted as well.
So we have another donation coming from Ognedrat. Oh, it's Richard. No, backwards. Okay. It says, Joey, better see you, J. Austin. Richard, by the way, was one of these guys who also made some video stuff for Hellspeed Time, and he gets some really good footage of people just kind of having a good time. Put some music from Friends, mixed it in there. Actually, if someone could link that in chat, during the ad break later, I'm gonna nostalgia the shit off that. I loved that video. So thank you, Richard, for making that video, but thank you for helping the, I guess, Save Joey Fund.
But when I was looking through those pictures for my grandma, I was like, damn, I need to get another suit jacket. I look good in a suit jacket.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do. So I'm gonna pick that up before I go to Texas. Next week probably. Oh my God.
When we go to Texas, can you and I get bola ties and just as commemorative things, even though they're ugly and stupid looking?
I don't really want a bola.
Well, I mean, I know healthcare isn't universal in the States, but come on.
What did you call them?
What are they bolo? Bola? I don't know what they're called. Those little. It looks like 2 strings that a Texas oil tycoon would wear. You know what I mean?
Oh, I had no idea what they were called, man. I had no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, but you're right. It's bolo ties.
Yeah.
B-O-L-O.
Okay, bolo. My bad. Excuse me.
As long as it's not offensive to their culture, sure.
I'll wear the nicest suit. Olivia wants wear something normal. I'll wear the nicest suit, but I'll wear a bolo tentacle.
Didn't you buy that suit though?
We'll talk about that in a moment. Hang on. Double Void Ray is coming out. Should be able to hold the Roach advance beyond this. His pylon's scattered all over the place. At least he's got overcharge, so the mothership core's not popping any. She's too far away, and the cyber core is going to go down again. Zombie. MaNa, use the mothership core, man. There's so many pylons.
I think that he realized that roaches would still have range, The pylons do not have a lot of range. That was one of the significant
ones
cuts
out
of
here?
Potent Overcharge. Oh, well, yeah, those ones, of course, the ones out here, yeah. It was only one, though. I guess he figured it would have been focus fired. I mean, it looked intentional, anyway, that he wasn't using the mothership. But I don't know about now. Like, they're clearly in range. There we go. Now, throwing them out there. But, you know, one goes down. The second one could be focus fired. It's just, TLO's kind of just A-moving now. He has overwhelming numbers. But Void Rays come out, and so much for the overwhelming numbers.
Like the Riders from Rohan.
Instantly. Jesus.
Alright, so Prismatic
and the
Alignment.
follow-up is the Baneling Nest, by the way.
Was that bug? The Prismatic Alignment's not looking like a big beam. It looks like a normal beam.
Towards the end it was. You're right.
That looked really weird. Okay, so MaNa holds, but this is at the cost of a lot of pylons, cost a lot of his structures, and most importantly, his cyber core means no upgrades for this air that he's investing into.
His third, obviously, also just delayed because you weren't going to get a third when that attack was happening. They just instantly cancel it. But he does throw it down like as soon as possible afterward. And this is pretty important. These pylons, which again they weren't really used, and that's kind of unfortunate. But now the top of the ramp should be the #1 focus. A Frozen Temple isn't only this ramp and this choke, this pathway. You can break down the rocks, the left and the right, but TLO has other things to do. He is macroing himself, getting a 4th base. He was already at a pretty good drone count, but 68 drones, pretty perfect. And going into Hydralisk now. I'm guessing just Hydra Baneling. Skip the Lurker Den for now.
I mean,
getting the upgrades for them.
I like the Hydras either way. One of the worst parts about that first game for TLO was just having no anti-air. You know, it was like a small handful of queens and no spore crawlers. This time, he's got more than ample defense. These Phoenix will not get to run rampant across his bases. I also just want to note the creep spread. I didn't realize just, I guess, how few tumors it would take to get across the map.
This is seriously like one of the first attacks we saw was very similar to the Larilat Crest Queen Roach attack. I think Bly did it, and it was like Showtime, I want to say. Like, he was the one that introduced me, at least, to the pylon top of the ramp type of deal at the fence. But yeah, it's very short, actually, and creep spread gets pretty insane pretty quickly. But this attack, I think MaNa saw him breaking down the rocks, but I don't think he saw him actually moving out. So that's a little bit awkward.
Very, very awkward. So MaNa is I don't know, he doesn't have the army supply to really fight this. He's gonna recall everything to the natural, not the main. This means Banelings can just collide on things that are stuck mid-recall. Force fields go down to lock this out. A couple of corrosive biles could break that. They end up going behind them, however. We got a Phoenix swooping in from behind. Not quite enough to take on those Hydras at face value, but maybe with this army. The Void Rays won't find themselves being too effective. Banelings crashing into everything and anything, and it goes straight for the pylon. GG gets called, and TLO is going to take the series 2-1.
Okay, so much for, you know, anything other than Zerg in this tournament.
So, that, yeah. Dinwit also donated $5 there at the end. It says, hashtag save it. By the way, no one thinks you were singing MC Sprite in the intro. They all blame you for the first half. Okay, fair point. But guys, we're like an hour into the broadcast, and we're at $384 raised. I just messaged a nice username. He's like, I woke up 5 minutes ago. I didn't expect, like, what the fuck? No, sorry, I quote, holy fuck, in all caps is what he says. So, I mean, we've pretty much got this on lockdown. I'm just so happy for him, and we'll make sure he gets that money ASAP. But we're gonna go to a small commercial break while we try and pick our next series. At this point, the only non-Zergs left are Lily Canine and Tails and Keen. Snoot, Violet, Sleep, Elazer, Nurchio, Guru, Bly beats Billowy even, and TLO, so buckle in for ZVZs.
Receiving incoming transmission.
$5.70 from Diablo Melandra says to contribute towards the zombie grub, or to contribute towards Zombigrub's jacket, or a bulb of garlic for Rifkin. To explain the jacket thing, as you weren't here for it when I was talking with the mods, they made me pay in full, and they said, by the way, we're sold out. So
yeah, I was there for that.
So now I'm trying to find. I'm still looking for like a replacement. I'm just furious that I haven't gotten a refund for it yet, though. Like, I thought this would be something that would get processed, I don't know, kind of quickly. There's just been no updates whatsoever, so I'm still waiting to see what's going on with that refund, because I already paid the $368 for fedora to go with it, for the rush shipping, for the suit itself. Like, anyways, I want to remind everybody, too, that even though we're getting close to that cap, once we go over the cap, any extra donations will just go towards helping offset mine and Zombie Rep's costs for things. And Riamar's also pledged to donate $5 for any new subscribers who join us today. So if you are a new subscriber, up to 10, if you're a new subscriber on the channel, you get cool benefits for being subbed to the channel, but you also put $5 towards the fundraiser as well. Anyways, don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back in 2 minutes, hopefully with our next series sorted out.